Let's get to the next caller. Let's get to, there's a lot of callers in tonight. People want to ask questions and share stories. It's awesome. Area code 360, you're live, third phase of moon.
Yes.
Yeah, you got a UFO
Hello?
sighting want to report? Hello.
No, I'm just listening again.
Oh, just listening. All right. Well, stand by. There's always the link you can listen to on the radio show. We got to keep the lines open so people could share in disclosure. Appreciate listening, though. That's important. The callers are lining up, so we want to get everybody's testimony in this Friday night, Third Phase Moon Radio 702. Thanks for calling in. Tell us where you calling from. What's your name?
Hello?
Hello. Yep.
Blake?
Welcome to the show. This is Blake.
Hello? Blake, this is Richard Eliot. I emailed you earlier this week from Vegas.
Hey, Richard. From Las Vegas.
I sent you an email about that thing that I saw.
Yeah, absolutely. What'd you see?
But this is the interesting thing is because I wasn't the only one that saw it. Unfortunately,
Okay.
I got one picture. But the fascinating thing is, my wife and I are driving. It's the middle of the afternoon in Las Vegas on a Saturday. Clear blue skies. Perfect vision. I'm stuck in traffic. Alongside the road I'm on, up at the top of the west of Las Vegas, is a mountain range, not very high. I look over. I see what I thought at first was a balloon. I looked at my wife. I says, "Do you see this? What is this?" It's as if someone just stuck it up there. It's not blowing like a balloon. It's not moving like something blowing in the wind. So I take a quick picture of it because part of it starts to move, and then another part starts to move. It's no bigger than like a large bicycle. And I look to my right because my wife says, "Well, let's turn around and have a look at it." So I flip a U-turn, and sure enough, there's a police officer watching the same thing. So I talk to the police officer. He tells me that he's responding to a call from dispatch from a commercial pilot that says at one point this thing was at an altitude where it was threatening incoming traffic into the McCarran Airport in Las Vegas. He had been following it for about 3 or 4 miles down the road. Blew me away.
Yeah, I know. That's what got me when he emailed me this information, along with the pictures. First of all, the pictures, really, they don't reveal too much. I do remember the craft is unusual, but then when you say that this motorcycle cop is chasing this, and he's been watching whatever it is, now that's when you're getting corroborating evidence that something unusual just happened.
You definitely feel like well, I saw something like I told you in the email. I saw something when I was about 7 or 8 years old, and the fascinating thing is that thing also was corroborated by law enforcement and commercial pilots that saw it. But this thing, because we were close enough, you could tell the way it was moving. It was very methodical. It wasn't something blowing in the wind. It's like this thing was just sitting in the sky, stuck, motionless, and then it would turn to the left, turn to the right. Another part of it would turn back and forth. And then the police officer tells me, "Well, I've called in air support." I'm thinking, great, we got a chopper coming. And
Nice.
as if this thing knew, it starts to drift further west at about a 45-degree angle, not at any great speed, but just casually moving up to where it's getting smaller and smaller. We're losing focus. He cancels the air support. This thing's going towards a mountain range, which I don't know where it was going, west towards Red Rock Canyon, which is at the top of the valley of Las Vegas. But this thing was no bigger than a large bike or motorcycle because we were close enough to see. It wasn't a drone like somebody would buy from a store. There was no flat surfaces where there would be like these fans. This thing was metallic. It was a solid. I just never seen anything like it before. And the way this thing moved, it was really fascinating. And I'd seen on the internet, I'd seen stuff on Third Phase. People had posted where they have seen, smaller craft that they think are drones or something that's not manned. And that was the only conclusion I could come up with. That I had no idea what else this would be. This was definitely not a drone from Earth anyway. From here, there's no way. The cop was specifically looking for someone controlling this thing as he was driving. He told me he was looking for someone in a car, maybe controlling a drone. And when he says to me, "There's nobody controlling this thing from here," he had no idea what it was. He had no explanation.
The police officer said, "What again?"
The police officer came to the conclusion. He said, "I was looking for someone controlling this thing, maybe from a car, because this is off a street here." Eventually, when he started chasing this thing, it was in major intersections. So where we got to the point where I saw it was over a mountain. But for that time frame, those miles of him following this thing, he was specifically looking for somebody in a car, maybe controlling a drone, just being mischievous, causing trouble.
Yeah, Richard. You got to send me these photos again. I'm looking in my emails. I just see that you just emailed me, so you got my email. So that's great. So resend those photographs. We're going to put them on the show tonight. People, it's going to be really cool when people get to. This is real time, and Richard just called in. It's the first time we've ever spoken with each other, and we're going to break news right now, and that's what Third Phase of Moon's all about.
Absolutely. Yeah, I've been following you for a while, and I appreciate you getting back to me in such a quick fashion, man. I really appreciate it. It's definitely. It's good for us, for the general public, to know that someone's going to respond so quickly when we don't understand what we're seeing.
Yeah, that's what we try and do, and appreciate you making contact, because it's people like you, Richard. But what I wanted to do is, I know you made contact a few days ago, and you saw the pictures, so we're just kind of sitting on them, because I wanted you to call in on the show and hear your side of the story first. So that's really cool.
I'm going to look for the article about the thing I saw when I was a kid, and if I can find that, my dad had that article from when I was 7 or 8, when that disc was falling us down Mount Charleston. If I can find that article, I will copy it and send it to you.
Let me ask you about the police officer himself, because at that point, you're in basically the desert, out in the middle of nowhere, it seems. And now you've just seen something you can't explain. What was the attitude about? Did you guys have a bonding of some sort?
I did. I talked to the police officer. He was definitely fascinated with what he was looking at, and he told me blatantly he had no idea what it was. He could not grasp what it was. He didn't know. He had no idea. I wish I got his card.
What police department was he? What was the police department? I was going to ask you. Did you get his badge number, his name?
No, it's Metropolitan Police Department in Las Vegas. It's Metropolitan Police Department. Obviously, you saw in the picture was a motorcycle officer. This where we were is at the very top of the city. There's nothing else. You're looking at a mountain. If you were behind me looking the other way, you'll be looking over the entire city of Las Vegas. I live at the very top of the valley. I didn't get a badge number. I was so stunned and astonished at what I was looking at, trying to wrap my head around it. I wish I was more conscious enough to get this badge number or get his card or get his name. I was just floored at what I was looking at in the first place. And the fact that the police officer was dumbfounded. He didn't know what it was. And the fact that he was responding from a call from a commercial pilot just blew me away.
That's what's so amazing about people having their eyes open and having the sense to just document in its own self, photographs, asking questions, and finding out, investigating what you did. You wanted to find out what you saw. So we're going to put the pictures out. And if anybody else saw this, what was that?
There was a video that I saw because I Googled to see if there was anybody else put anything up from September 19th in Las Vegas UFO. There was a quick video on Google, actually on YouTube, of a guy that said he had a video of like a minute and 45 seconds of like 5 objects that he said he saw, but you can't see him in the video. So I don't know if it's the same thing I saw. I don't know if it's, there's a lot of people out there that, make crap up for attention. I don't know what it was. But, that'd be great. I hope someone hears this and if they saw this out here corroborates the story. That would be great if someone else had other pictures. It was so close. It blew me away.
I'm sure once we get the word out, and it's going to be seen by tens of thousands of people within 24 hours. So we hope that we could help in a little bit of disclosure, which I think we just did right now. Richard, hey, appreciate you calling into the show, sharing your photographs, man.
Absolutely, I will do. Blake, thanks for taking the time.
No problem.
I really appreciate
Thank you. Wow, that was Richard Eliot sharing, these photographs along with testimony live on Third Phase Moon Radio. Wow. We'll be right back. Blake Cousins.